Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Derek. I am a college student at North Carolina State University, studying science, technology, and society. And for my final project, I am doing a vlog on autonomous technology. Basically, I just wanted to put together a video talking about my own opinions about autonomous technology and such. So to start out, what is autonomous technology? Well, autonomous technology is anything that is uh, not controlled by human interference. So basically, it has a mind of its own. Mostly, the first thing that pops into people's minds about autonomous technology is the movie I, Robot, right? Where you have robots controlling themselves and have a mind of their own. Eventually, they sought to take the world or take over the world, and that kind of fits into artificial intelligence as well. But autonomous technology isn't just that. It's not limited to just a robot taking over the world. Today, we're actually experiencing some mild forms of autonomous technology, and it's going to grow as the years keep going. So, what kind of autonomous technology do we see today? Um, let's start out with self-driving cars. Google has actually made a self-driving car that drives on its own, as well as Panasonic has made a concept car that can carry out its own driving course, which also allows the user to switch over and drive the car themselves. And then also even very small forms of autonomous technology, such as cars braking on their own when the user is not braking in a significant amount of time. Cars um, telling the user that there is another vehicle in their blind spot. We're also using autonomous technology in vacuums per se. So the Roomba vacuum is autonomous and is a piece of technology that can do a task all by itself on its own. It actually, some of them, even the more high class ones, will actually map out your rooms and then memorize the rooms so that it's not doing as much banging on the furniture and stuff. So autonomous technology is here. It's here to stay. Right now, there's a good amount of pushback on things such as self-driving cars. Self-driving cars are seen as not controllable, and anything that's not controlled by humans has been, for the most part, rejected. The feeling of letting a car take you at 60, 70 miles an hour plus down a highway without you controlling it, and then that car making a mistake is a big fear in most people. So, autonomous technology, it's being pushed back right now, but it is here to stay, and eventually, I feel like it will be accepted into society. Most of the time, and as history has shown, that when new technology is introduced, a lot of times it is uh, rejected naturally at the very beginning, but eventually integrated into the society itself. So I think it's going to be basically the same thing with autonomous technology. So with autonomous technology here to stay, basically, what is that going to do to society? How is society going to change because the technology is here? And how are we going to change the way we think when it comes to society, when it comes to how we do a task, when it comes to even individual specific tasks? So, take self-driving cars for instance. If we were to fully integrate self-driving cars into our society, and basically every person owned a self-driving car, would the skill of driving a car become perishable? Because now it's obsolete. That's the big question. So, when a autonomous or piece of technology um, is starting to do what is considered a human or normalistic task that we are doing today, in the future, would that task be described as obsolete and then therefore perishable, and therefore many people wouldn't would know how to do it, right? So this isn't a new concept. The concept of a piece of technology making a skill obsolete and then less people know how to do that skill, that's been shown throughout history. Um, I personally have seen, or if you do your research, even things like creating a fire. I personally do not know how to create a fire just from a piece of stick and some stones. My first go-to for creating a fire is taking a match and lighting it. So that's a new piece of technology that before, when the match wasn't created, you had to know how to create a fire to, one, stay warm, and two, cook your food, right? Now we have the match, and the match allows us just to start the fire that quickly. Along with, you can even argue with warmth and with cooling systems and AC systems and heating systems. Now we don't even have to worry about starting a fire to warm our house up through a fireplace. Now it's all done through a heating system, right? So once again, if we are to integrate self-driving cars into society, the skill of driving a car will be obsolete and therefore perishable. Dr. Langdon Winter states in one of his pieces that autonomous technology can be considered uncontrollable, but the only way to control the technology is through democratic reasoning. And I personally think that safeguards will have to be put into the autonomous technology to make sure it doesn't do whatever it wants to do on its own, and we won't be losing those skills later on in life. An example would be, or later on in the future, an example would be self-driving cars being integrated into society, but we are still teaching our population how to drive the car and still giving the option to drive that car manually versus self-driving. That way we aren't losing that skill, and that's a new way to think about it. And that's not just stopping with self-driving cars. That's any autonomous technology that is taking over a specific task or humanistic skill that once was considered done only by humans. So in conclusion, autonomous technology is here to stay. There's no doubt about that. And it's going to progress throughout history or throughout the future, and it will be integrated into society. But how is that changing our knowledge? How is that changing our society and how society works? And I think I hit it. We are going to have to realize that when we take an autonomous technology or piece of technology and integrate it into the lives of humans, we have to make sure, one, either that technology is taking the task of or a skill, a learned skill by humans, and if it's deeming it obsolete, and whether we want or are okay with that being obsolete. And if not, we're going to have to put in safeguards and measures to make sure that technology is not making a perishable skill or creating a new perishable skill. So finally, those are my thoughts on autonomous technology. Like I said, I am from North Carolina State University, studying science, technology, and society. This was for a final project, and hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from and understand how I see autonomous technology, and then form your own opinions on how autonomous technology is going to change the future. There's no way of knowing what's going to happen, but I guess you could predict a little bit of what we could be seeing. But to end this vlog, I'm going to go ahead and play with my own autonomous technology piece, and that is the Roomba, and I'm going to let it clean for now. Take it easy, guys.